What's up, everybody? This is In the Pocket, where we talk about the things and people around sports that you want to talk about. I'm Big Bob. That's Maestro. Maestro, how are you doing today?
Man, I am doing outstanding, absolutely amazing because I'm hanging out with my boy. That's you. How, how you feeling, boo? How you feeling? Really, really? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. Well, this is In the Pocket. Like I said, we talk about the things and people around sports you want to talk about. Still in the middle of March Madness here, starting to wind down a little bit. We got the kickoff of the MLB season. NFL. I mean, we got the draft coming up is it about a month now? It's usually the end of April, right?
Yeah,
I think it's like
yeah.
April 27th to the, I don't know, I'm just guessing right now. Let's see. I'm going to guess that it is April 30th to the 2nd. And fact
That
check me
sounds
on
good
that.
to me.
Fact
That
check
sounds
me.
good to me because day one is only round one. Day
Yep.
two, right? Is that right? And day
Yep.
two is round two
2
and
and 3.
three,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then rounds 4 through 74 is day three.
Well, I was a week off, April 23rd.
Okay,
April
close enough.
23rd to the 25th. But
Time ain't
yeah,
time ain't no but a thing, baby. Time ain't no but a thing.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the draft to see how our mock draft lives up to everybody else's, and also to see. I did a little. I always love messing around with those little websites that let you do your own draft. And somehow
Hmm.
Caleb Downs fell to the Vikings at 18. And I was like, well, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, for
I
real,
think
right?
I think there's some injury concerns there, so I guess it's possible, but it's not going to happen at all. But let's start. Let's start off real quick. We're not going to dive too much into the MLB season yet, but I do think that we should at least right now, while everybody sucks, I think we should make our prediction or our hope. It doesn't even have to be either the prediction or our hope of what the World Series is going to look like. Maestro, I'll let you go first.
So I'm just gonna just get out the way. It's actually my hope. I'm not even gonna lie about it. Uh, I like to see the Atlanta Braves versus the Boston Red Sox. And I know what everybody's saying about where Boston is right now, what's going on in the division they're in, how strong the Yankees are. But the Yankees have Aaron Judge who disappears, and I'm sorry, too soon to say that. Guy's gonna go to the Hall of Fame, and here's just nobody saying, "Yeah, this guy gonna disappear in October again." No, I'm sorry. I doesn't mean I promise not to be. I promise all my babies I was not gonna be
Be
mean today.
good.
So I'm gonna be good. I'll be
Be a
good. But
good
yeah, no.
boy.
So my hope is the Atlanta Braves are going to find a way to hold it on together. They're going to get over their early entries. They're going to pull through and going to get there this year and going to face Boston. And it's going to be nice to see. It'll be nice to see two old school teams. For those who don't know, the Braves got their start in Boston. The Braves were in Boston before Boston Red Sox were in Boston. So I think there'll just be a cool classic series of two old school teams. I just think it'd be nice.
well, I'm here to disappoint you that Atlanta's not making the playoffs. But anyways, you did say your hope. So
I did say my hope.
I guess my hope, since you are a Georgia boy right now, I guess my hope is that the Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Atlanta Braves in the World
Mm,
Series.
mm,
No, I mean
mm.
it seems like everybody really thinks that the World Series is going to go pretty much one way this year, and I don't think I don't think people are too far off. I do think there's a chance that the Dodgers three-peat. I mean
Yeah,
they spend the
I wouldn't. Yeah, I
money.
wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be
No,
surprised.
no, they spend the money. They have arguably the best team on paper in baseball. They've obviously won back-to-back World Series. Their bullpen is pretty solid. I believe that Otani is going to play both ways this year.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, he didn't do it he did bits and pieces here and there last season, but he wasn't a
Right.
full-time two-way player. But I think he is going to
No.
this year. I mean, it's kind of hard to keep him off. Excuse me. It's kind of hard to keep him off the
Yeah.
field,
Yeah.
regardless, because he's so good both ways. But
Yeah.
if Otani goes down, then I don't know. I mean, even if Otani goes down, you look at the Dodgers lineup. They still got Mookie. They got Freeman. They just overall they have such a solid lineup. I don't know if Shohei going down would really. It's going to hurt, but I
It's
think they
gonna
would
hurt,
still have a
but
chance to move
I
forward.
don't think it. Yeah, it will hurt them, but I'm with you. I don't believe it's going to hamper them.
Yeah.
Um, I just, you know, it's easy when you have 3 of the top 7 players in baseball on your team. I mean, that helps. That helps.
Yeah, a
That
little
helps a
bit,
little
a
bit.
little bit.
Um, you know, it's just really hard to look past and wait and think about who left the Dodgers. Think think about the talent that left the Dodgers and what they still have right now. So it shows you what Magic Johnson, his group out there, ownership group out there, what they're doing. They're really putting their money behind it. And they're earning those because of what it means. Some of our listeners, well, I don't know. Okay, look up the Dodgers from when they finally got back on the map again. They were a big time team in Brooklyn, into moving to LA. Um, Almost good enough, not quite good enough, and then we get Tommy Lasorda taking over as a manager, and then the Dodgers and the Yankees and back-to-back World Series in the late '70s, and we start getting the Dodgers of what we know the Dodgers. But I said all that as a backdrop to say, and I promise not to make this a Maestro story. Look up the Dodgers from the early '80s, particularly around a player by the name of Fernando Valenzuela, who came up. Nobody knows what his age really is. So I'm just gonna get that out the way right now. Nobody
15,
knows what his
whatever it
age
is,
really.
plus
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. So, but this is a cat who came in. I think the Dodgers won the World Series. Fact check me on this with him in the '80s. He also won Rookie of the Year and a Cy Young Award. And
Rookie of the year at
there was
35.
yeah, really. And even though they said he was 20, now dog years or not, say what you want to say. But the reality was it was considered scandalous that he changed the landscape of LA baseball and made it to where it became the place where you had to go see. Now think about this: so all the people who came from the Brooklyn Dodgers to the LA Dodgers and the talent they've had there. Along comes this kid from Venezuela. I believe it's from Venezuela. And all of a sudden, he's the biggest name in sports. He was Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan. He was Tiger Woods before Tiger Woods. He was everything. And the Dodger Stadium is huge, so it's hard to fill. So of course they jiggered the schedule so he can be playing home more. The networks jiggered their schedule so they could have them on more when he pitched. This is how big he was. Keep in mind the NBA is still playing their finals on tape delay at this particular point. Um, it wasn't the way we think of the game now. There's no social media, but Fernando Valenzuela, after that rookie season, Cy Young Award and everything else, he wanted to hold out for $800,000, and people thought it was scandalous. How dare you? How dare you? 800,000. Oh my God, it's crazy. Now he ended up getting 300-some thousand dollars, so people thought was still too much back then. Today, if he had that kind of season, they forget Shohei Ohtani and Paul Skeens, he'd probably get close to $40 million a year. I mean, it's just that's just how good he was. That's how much he reshaped the game. But if you think about what the Dodgers did then with that streak that didn't last as long as people thought it should have lasted with the talent they had, because of then the '80s along came the Braves. And Braves used to be in the National League West with the Dodgers before they got realigned into the National League East. So and that's when the Braves went on their winning streak of 18, whatever, however many it was, National League West and then East championships. So it's just amazing to me to see the Dodgers now in a situation where they almost look like they looked back in the late '70s, early '80s, except a lot younger, and they look like they can maintain. So that's going to be curious to see what they're going to be able to do. And
Yeah.
again, if they three-peat, no one's going to be surprised with
No.
the amount of money that the ownership group led by Magic Johnson has put into that team and everything else. So we'll see.
And just to confirm, he was from Mexico, not
Oh,
Venezuela.
Mexico. Okay.
South
There you
America. You were close. South America. That's
Close. I was asking, somewhere below Texas. How about
somewhere
that?
below Texas. Well, let's
That
shift gears
sounded
real
so
quick.
racist.
Yeah, I know.
That's so racist. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did not mean. It was funny in my head. It wasn't meant to be racist. I apologize to everybody who I might have just
Well,
offended.
we'll just moving along.
There you go. Good man. Good man.
uh,
Good man.
well, we'll finish up. I mean, not finish up, but pretty much finish up with March Madness talk. But through this recording, two of the games finished from Thursday night. Purdue pulled it out against Texas.
Barely.
Iowa barely. It was tied up with 11 seconds to go. And Iowa took down number 9. Iowa took down number 4 Nebraska. But we still have, again, we're going to talk about games that you guys already know the results for by the time this episode airs. But we got Arkansas, Arizona, Illinois, Houston. What do you think? I'm. There's some kids on Arkansas that I really, really like. I really, really want to see. I know people hate Calipari, hate him, obviously, and but hey, he does it. He does it to himself.
He earns it.
Yeah,
he earns it.
He does it to himself. But you got 4 Arkansas, 1 Arizona, 3 Illinois, 2 Houston. What are you thinking? Arizona and Houston were in my Final Four. Texas Tech went down. Texas Tech was the only team so far that I've lost in my Final Four. We don't have to talk about yours, Maestro. It's okay.
Yeah, half of mine is gone.
But with those games last night, and then after our episode airs today, the rest of the Sweet 16 will air. St. John's Duke, which I'm sure you would hope both of them lose at somehow. Bama, Michigan State, UConn, Tennessee, Iowa State. There's some good basketball left to play.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is.
There is some good basketball, even though we all know Maestro hates the March Madness and would wish it was conference time. But of all the games that are like,
I don't hate it. I just seriously dislike it. How about that?
Well, there hasn't been too many surprises. I believe, I think the only 1 seed out right now was Florida. I think Florida was a 1 seed.
Yeah.
So outside of Florida, all the 1 seeds are still there. I think that all the 2 seeds are still there. I mean, all the favorites are there. The only, I guess, if we want to call them a Cinderella, the only Cinderella left is Iowa, and the rest of them, people really expected them to be there. What are you hoping to see, or what are you expecting to see as we finalize the Sweet 16 heading into the Elite 8?
So I'm going to answer the question with a thought. Well, I guess you should answer the question with a thought. So
a little bit.
Yeah. So okay. So here we go. We're really seeing the power of the one and done superstar players and NIL in play. And I say that specifically with Nebraska in mind. Think about Nebraska, who in basketball anyway, did they ever make the NIT or NCAA tournament before this year, and all of a sudden or did they win a game and all of a sudden now they basically played in the Sweet 16? And I think about that. I think about a team like Indiana, known as a basketball school, but they won the national championship in football.
Yeah.
And so I look at those 2 schools, and I'm heartened in that I think about something you said, Bob, and that was about how it's almost a forced parity. It's hard to call them kids because they're getting paid. It's hard, they're definitely not amateurs anymore. It's definitely a whole different league now. And again, I'm not to get off my lawn, guys. That's what it is. But with the reality of where the game has shined now, in terms of how we see it, I'm looking at the teams that are left. I'm looking at the fact that despite the volatility of the landscape of college sports, particularly college basketball, that was volatile before. I'm sorry, this was volatile before NIL. The fact that, look at your coaches that have survived. Calipari, Pitino. Most of your coaches are old school coaches from back in the day when, if you weren't cheating, you weren't trying. And they're not analytics guys. They're not whatever. And they understand the landscape enough. Forgive me, everybody. They understand the landscape enough to know how to talk to the younger players, how to move the game along and put themselves in a position. St. John's is going to give Duke problems. because that's what Patino does. And Arkansas gives everybody a problem because that's what Calipari does. Now, you can say what you want to say about Calipari. Every place he's gone and every place he's coached, he's left that program in disarray and under and also under penalty and everything else. I mean, he's never left the program clean. Okay. That being said, with NIL now, this might be his first shot at being able to do it because
He doesn't have to hide
now
it
you
anymore.
no, you can do the stuff you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, kid, you want to play for me? Oh, you need a car? I got a car. You need a, you're brisket on Saturday. Hey, what you got going? So, and again, it's. I would not be surprised if Duke takes out. I'm sorry, if Duke is taken out by St. John. I'd be a little like, whoa, but I wouldn't be surprised. Not the way Patino has those guys playing right now, not with the energy they have behind them, and not with, let's face it, Duke is one of the teams that they're barely getting by. It's almost if they're playing to their it's almost if they're playing to their competition, right? And it's weird because we're not used to seeing Duke do that. And then I had, I think you know this, I had Arizona winning it all this year. But if Arkansas takes them down, I'd be like, I'd be more surprised by that than I would be by St. John's taking down Duke. That being said, I see my remaining teams. I see Houston, Arkansas. I see Duke being able to find a way to maintain, though, that I'm writing that in very light pencil. Very light pencil. As a matter of fact, I'm probably not going to use pencil. I'm going to use like my finger on the paper. Michigan is probably the strongest team, I think, as terms of team-wise that's left. Now, they play more traditional. They don't shoot a lot of threes, I don't think. I think they're the strongest complete team that's still left. And here's my thought, and I know that took way too long to answer your question, and I don't even know if I really answered it. Do you remember a time, Bob, or our listeners or viewers, and thank you so much for hanging out with us. Do you all remember a time where there was such an emphasis on how many injuries were on each team? Because I honestly can't. And I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not trying to be that person that's saying, oh, blah, blah, blah. Back in the day, they rarely talked about injuries. I know why they talk about injuries. Everybody knows why it has to do with the gambling and with the advent of more gambling now in the game, especially now with the mobile apps and stuff like that. And injuries are how the bookmakers set the odds and stuff like that. But what I found amazing was I made the mistake, Bob, of checking out one of those expert shows on what a tournament is and where the teams are.
Experts.
It was a mistake. Yeah, and it was a mistake. I'm gonna tell you it was a mistake. As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna say who it was. I'm just gonna put it to you this way. They had 2 of the Sweet 16 teams wrong. And they had this with graphics. It was with graphics and everything, but 2 of the Sweet 16 teams were actually wrong. They had actually lost coming into the Sweet 16. They didn't win. And I'm like, okay, am I looking at the wrong year? I mean, I was really confused for a minute. So that really wasn't the point of what I was going to say. The point is they spent the first half of the A block, the first 7-8 minutes of the show, talking about injuries and teams that weren't completely whole and teams that were playing hurt and blah 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 whatever. And I'm going back in my head. I guess that's how you go back. And I'm trying to think, do I ever remember a time during the NCAAs, any NCAAs, if it wasn't a major player hurt, that you heard this much conversation about even backups that were injured? And Bob, I can't. Do you? I mean, am I that old guy now that just doesn't remember anything?
Maybe. No. No, but you're right. But you're right. I mean, you really, unless it's that star player, you
Right,
didn't
exactly.
really ever hear
Unless it was
too
a
much
star
about it. But I think it does have a lot to do with, obviously, people say, well, it doesn't really have to do with the betting. It kind of does, because all these
it totally does.
all these different companies, ESPN, NCAA, all the betting companies, they all, there's all these different contracts and stuff. There's a reason that you have to in the NFL, and obviously it's not new,
NFL.
but
Now,
there's a reason
thank
in
you.
the
Yeah,
NFL that you have
thank
to
you.
disclose the injuries and stuff. It's not
Stole the words out of my throat.
it's not
So
because they care about who's injured or
no,
not. It's we got to make sure the betting lines are right because
read
uh,
read I'm sorry, Bob. Read any for anybody who says that, Bob, please hold your thought with us. For anybody who says that, oh, it doesn't really matter, read any coach's book, any NFL coach who coached between the late 50s to the early 70s when they were being when that deadline was set and you have to announce your injuries by this day, you have to announce who was in practice, who was not in practice, why they didn't practice. When that stuff started, it and every single book from Lombardi to Bud Grant to Landry, they all talk about one thing of understanding the pressure that they were under from all the bookmakers of having that information in. And that's why it was mandated by the rules of the NFL. So, Bob, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, I mean it is what it is. Or I'm not saying that they're all in cahoots, but it that's at the end of the day, it's all about the money. It's all about the business, and it's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be about
Mm-hmm.
the money. It's always going to be about the business. It's not going to be
And that's
about the
okay.
actual people. It is. As
And that's okay.
how else are people going to make money if it's not about
Yeah.
the money? It's not about the money, but it's about the money, and that's how it is. And for every kind of job, whether you're there to make money or you're a nonprofit, you're there to make money because if you don't make money, you're not going to have a business or a job at the end of the
Right.
day. So it doesn't matter
And
whatever your business is, whether you're again for profit, not for profit, whatever, you're there to make money or you're not going to have a business.
and now college has to pay players, which means for the first time they have to pay their labor. They didn't have to pay the players before. Players and run up their own profit and loss sheet. So now that you actually pay the laborers in college, a greater emphasis is going to be on it. Why? Because schools need to make more money to pay those NIL deals. It's what it is. Deal with it. Get over it. Let it be what it's going to be.
Yeah, but I do want to jump back. I know I agree with you about Duke. I mean, Duke's they're so close to just completely falling apart. People are going to go, well,
Yeah.
they won by 23 points against TCU. It's like, yeah, but TCU was leading a quarter of the way through the second half. So it's like,
Thank you.
yes, TCU fell apart. Duke's defense stepped up, or TCU just got cold. But at the end of the day, TCU, again, a quarter of the way through the second half, were leading against Duke. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Duke to be
No.
able to close it.
No.
I picked them to win. I did. They are there. I mean, it doesn't matter. My bracket's been busted for a hot minute now, but
Still look better than mine. Still look better than mine.
I do.
Still look better than mine,
My
bro.
final four is still kind of intact. So, but
Better
yeah,
than
like
mine.
I won't be shocked if St. John's beats Duke. And I know. I know people hate Patino. People hate Patino. He's another one. There's always some kind of controversy or something like that. But I wouldn't hate for him to. I wouldn't hate for him to win one at St. John's. What would that be? The third or fourth
You know
school that
what?
he's won one at?
You know what? I'm going to be selfish. Okay. Full disclosure. I have no issue with Patino. Not that he would even care, but other than
Big Bob who?
how he
Maestro
handles
who?
his bit. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I never heard of the guy. What is he? He's a never was. What are you talking about? It's the way he handles his business. And I'm saying this being very selfish. I look at somebody like him, and I don't mean this in a pejorative way, but what okay. There's a coach at University of Connecticut, the men's coach, Coach Calhoun. And here's what people don't know about Coach Calhoun. This is way back in the day. This is actually he was there back when he really built the program up. He was one of the first coaches from a school like Connecticut that had no problem going in the hood in the middle of the night and all sorts of gang activities. So much so to the point where he had the respect of even the police. And he would just go to himself, nobody with him, and he would recruit these kids from these places to give them an opportunity to come to Connecticut, and really built the guys program up at Connecticut like nobody's business. And what people don't know about him is the respect that his name still carries and what he's left behind with clinics and camps and stuff like that. And I look at a coach like Patino. I'm just going to stick with Patino. I'm not even talking about Calipari. I'm talking about Patino. What he means to the game, I think, is irreplaceable. Everywhere he's gone, he's found a way to win. If you want to say he was cheating, fine, say it, but I'm not. If you want to say he was doing stuff on the table, fine, you can say all that too. To me, that doesn't matter. What matters is he has changed the trajectory of every program he's ever coached for.
All of them.
And he's also changed the lives of so many young men and so many young people because of the opportunities that he afforded them by bringing them into his programs in the way that he worked with them. So to me, it is, I see what he's done and I respect that. But if he handles stuff just a little bit differently, we would talk about him the same way we talk about Wooden. We talk about him the same way we talk about even
Ooh,
Rupp.
you said a bad word.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize, y'all. It's just because my passion of my issue with Patino is because I think he could be so much greater. Like if you did a Mount Rushmore of coaches, it's hard to keep him off of that. It's hard. It's hard to keep him off of that because of what he has done. But all the other noise that comes along with it diminishes, to me, the greatness that he's put on the court, diminishes the greatness that he's done for players that have played under him, diminishes the amazing things that he has done. And I know at the end of the day, a dude sitting on a plastic wrapped chair in a sub room in his house, it doesn't matter. I get that. But I'm so disheartened by seeing someone with the greatness that he's achieved, the way he's achieved it. I can't help but think of how much greater it could be because of what he's done. Because I'm sorry, he's the kind of guy. If I got a game to win, if he's got my clipboard, I ain't scared. You know, if I need to pull a program up and really build it up, and I need somebody to go and grease the circuit to get the boosters to pay in, and I ain't scared if I would get him. I'm not scared. And oh, by the way, if I'm a player that wants an opportunity to not only raise my game, but get a chance to play at the next level, having him yell at me 9 days a week, I ain't scared of that either. Because I know he's going to put me in a position to do that. And that's what I mean when I say that. My issue with him has to do out of respect of how much more I feel he could do and could have done.
Yeah.
And again, ultimately is what it is. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I do one last. I'm going to switch teams on you a little bit, and we'll make this maybe we can make this the final topic. Give the people a little break from us this week. I'm just kidding, but I know you love talking about it. Me and you have talked about it a lot off camera. How much longer do you think Alabama can keep up their because if they go cold, they're getting annihilated. How much longer do you think that they can keep this up? They're taking on Michigan tonight. How much longer do you think they can hold on? Do you think they can, shooting the way that they're shooting, they can win a national championship?
Agreed.
But we all know what happens. Just that one night, you're cold and you're one and done. You're one and done for the rest of the season. For the rest of the games, you're one and done. So, what do you think? Do you think that this is a viable way to win a championship this season or ever? And do you think Alabama can do it?
The answer is I do think they can do it, but to me, more so than their shooting, they have another problem. Their transition defense, like so many young teams, is horrible. But I'm seeing that with a lot of the teams. Very poor transition defense, very poor transition offense. I see cats that take way too long to get their shots off. I see cats that are way too long to get set to rescore the defense to put them in a position where they're going to be effective. And Alabama, with all the talent they have, and knowing what we know about their coach, okay, let's just get that out the way. Imagine if their transition game was what we saw 2 years ago. There's no doubt that they would probably win every game they played so far. They probably win by 30. I mean, that's where they got you. They got you with the way that they never let you get settled before the timeline from your side of the floor. They never let you get settled, and now they do. And they never really did that before. And so for those who might not know what I'm talking about, you have the two goals on each end. You have the half court line, and right before you get to each half court line, it used to be what we used to, back in my day we called it the timeline, right? So you had to get the ball past that point, a certain number of seconds to get the ball past the point. And what Alabama used to do before, they used to force that team to have to force, they didn't do a straight press. In other words, they didn't do a straight press. But their defense was so stifling in the transition game. That means after they scored a basket, they would set up so you had to work and take the almost full 10 seconds to get the ball across half court, which means now your shot clock ability to set up for a play is greatly diminished. And they're not doing that this year. And not only are they not doing it, there's been times when teams just moved up on them. And you never saw that before. That's my only problem. That's my only thing with Alabama. And I'm going to say this against a team like Michigan, you bet not misstep.
No.
You bet not, because they'll run you over like a Mack truck running through. Never mind, I almost said something really, like I was going to say a bunny farm, but that's a bad example before
Oh, not
Easter.
the bunnies.
Yeah, not the bunnies. I found something different. I mean, I'm just sorry. I mean, it's just, if they tighten that up, which I don't think they can because they've not played like that all year. But if they found a way to at least mitigate some of that, it's hard to see them not winning a championship. They don't shoot like everybody else, obviously. And like you said, they're the kind of team that when they have a cold night, because they're so weak in the transition game, specifically transition defense, they're not strong enough in other areas to make up for it. Unlike a team like Michigan. Michigan can have an off night in one part of their game and one facet of their game, and they'll make up in the other six.
Yeah.
You know, Duke is just kind of weak across the table, but they're strong enough to get through. But against a team like St. John's is going to pull Duke. It's going to feel like a monkey fight in a phone booth against St. John. It's going to feel like a monkey knife fight in a phone booth, because that's how Patino does his teams, right? So the only other team I could think of that could probably lose a huge portion of one of the 7 aspects of their game might be Arizona. That's kind of why I picked them to win the Natty. Maybe Houston. But Bama ain't that, because they're so weak in the transition game, and when their shooting is off, their shooting is off. I mean, it's not even close. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So to answer your question, yes, I do think they can, but they have negative room for error in the key parts of the 7 parts of the game to lose any of that, to be able to cut down the nets and hoist up the trophy this season.
I'll be honest, I'm shocked that they have continued to do what they do, because I thought when they lost Holloway, I did not think.
Yeah.
I thought, they're going to win in the first round, but I think they're going to slip up.
That's a great point.
So having one of their best players, the second leading scorer on your team, get taken out before getting removed from the team or temporarily suspended, whatever they want to call it, right before the NCAA tournament, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance they could have been upset in the first round, but they didn't let it hold them down. They're averaging 90 or a little over 90 points a game far in the NCAA tournament. But yeah,
they're shooting 35% from 3, if not more. That ain't real.
Yeah.
You know that ain't real. I'm sorry. I were texting about that. What is it? I think what is it? They've taken the most threes of anybody in all of Division One this season. Somebody please, Maestro, check me on that one. It's like live and die by the three has a whole new meaning when it comes to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, you're right. I'm with you, my fam. I'm with you.
Yeah. But again, I do. Right now, my hope is I don't know if they would run into each other, but I would love to or run into each other before the championship. But I would love, if possible. I gotta hold on. Let's think. Would Patino and Calipari run into each other? I can't remember which side of the bracket they're on.
That's a really good
I
point.
don't know.
That's
I
a
would
really
love to
good
see.
point.
I would love to see them play each other though. But I am rooting for Calipari to bring a championship for the third team that he's played for. Because, like you said, I love the fact that he can literally go anywhere
Ooh,
and
oh,
just. I love that he can go
dude,
anywhere and turn teams around or lift them up
they
a
would
little
meet.
more.
They would meet in the championship game.
Would they?
St.
Oh,
John's and Arkansas on opposite sides of the bracket, which
and we
means they won't meet.
and we all know how that would happen. Calipari would lose because he can't keep it together whenever it's a
Can
big game.
can
So
can you imagine? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Everybody, please forgive Maestro for 1 second. Can you imagine those two hit all the video of the worries they had from when they were best of buddies till they became worst of enemies? And for people who don't know, they followed each other at one particular point between programs. So, and at one point, it was so acrimonious between them that you started to wonder, if they're gonna have a cage match. You know, it was. So, can you? Oh man, that would be. They're both okay. They're both over 70. Is that correct? They're both over 70.
yeah, they have to be.
So you're talking in the modern game, the two guys who have been relatively, at least Patino, been majorly successful everywhere. Calipari has left carnage everywhere he's gone, but he was successful before he left the carnage in terms of programs under probation and stuff like that. But those two meeting in the finals in today's social media age, where people can go back and get clips of them yelling at each other in press conferences, going at each other in interviews, side swapping each other, not so friendly fire, not so strays. And whenever they weren't playing each other, they would still find a way to stray each other. With some, oh my goodness! I mean, that would be media gold.
That'd probably be the biggest story of the year.
Oh yeah. No one will remember the teams until the game started.
Yeah. But I do want to. You were correct. Alabama is averaging 35 threes a game attempts, and the next team, Charleston, 33. So they're averaging 2 more three attempts a game than the next closest team. But yeah. Either way,
That's a lot.
Either way, let's go Arkansas and St. John's.
You know what? That would totally junk up my bracket. I don't even care.
I know.
Yeah, let's see that. Let's get it. Let's get it, boo. Let's get it.
Well, Maestro, I appreciate you as always.
Oh, brother, appreciate you, my fam.
Is there any final things you want to touch on or talk about before we head our separate ways for the weekend?
Yeah. You know what? One quick thing. I always got to thank everybody for watching and dropping us lines and words and stuff like that. It means everything. It really does. I want to say one thing, because now we're starting to get into the super busy part of the sports year. Once we get past March Madness and we start getting into the NFL draft and NFL season, college football season, still with the end of the hockey season coming. We haven't even talked hockey yet at all.
Yeah, you're right. We haven't.
And forget all the awesome women's sports that are going on. There's just so much going on. What I would really like for our viewership family to do, go and give us a shout out about who some of the non-mainstream sport. Bob will tell you, I will watch cricket and I'm in heaven. I've been sending him screenshots of the TV because I'm watching cricket. I love cricket. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But just, get some other non-mainstream sport that you'd like us to talk about, because we do want to talk about stuff that you want to talk about. So yeah, give your boys a shout. Holla at your boys. Holla at your boys.
Holla at your boys.
Holla at your boys. Give it, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, we
I
do
just
got we probably should get some predictions in for hockey. There's less than a month left for the season, so we gotta,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
I
so
might have to. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say I might have to go see my Red Wings play on April
uh,
5th, but it's not at Minnesota. It's in Detroit, so never mind.
so I work with someone. I apologize. They would. Yes, I'm sorry. No, they would meet in the final four. I said that wrong. They would actually meet in the final four. I said championship game. They meet in
Oh,
the final four. I know, right? Um, okay, I'm gonna say this. I have a buddy that I work with, a drummer whose wife is a major Caps fan. I mean, Ca-
my
we'll be
wife
playing.
too.
We'll actually be playing a show, and she'll be there on her phone watching the Caps play. She could care less about the band. I'm watching the Caps play, but she's there. She's there. So, Chris, I'm talking about you, Krista. It's just it's. I would love to hear some of the sports that some of our fans would like to hear about. And oh, by the way, if it's something you don't understand about a sport, we'll talk about that too.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
we're here for you, booze. All our
yeah.
booze, all
You
our
know,
booze.
I proposed to my wife right at a Caps game.
Smart move, because there's no way she's
Yeah.
gonna say no. She's too excited. Wait. She probably said yes to shut you up so she can pay attention to the game.
Hey, right after the game, proposed to her. They just beat my Red Wings, and I proposed. So,
Oh, there you go. Stand up guy. Stand up guy. Yeah.
well, everybody, we appreciate you guys as always. Let us know what you want to hear from us, what you want to see from us. We want to do different things for you guys. If you guys would be interested, I know we talk about it all the time. Just if there's something specific you would be interested in seeing from us, let us know. We'll do it. We are talking about maybe doing a daily question on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, things like that for you guys. So just to try and get some more out of you, and for you guys to get some
Yeah.
more out of us. But we appreciate every single one of you that follow us and listen to us every single week. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your week.